Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it.
I loved it too. I did not realize that was Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, she lost a lot of weight. Yeah.
She did. I did not recognize her.
Say you will, say you won't, say you do what I don't, say you true, say to me. Say la vie. Oh my God, I have not heard that song in years. Whitney, I was like, when I heard that song, I was like, oh, I know this song. And then I was like, oh my God, I was instantly brought back to my like teenage self.
Everybody says I look like my dad.
Yeah, you fight like my dad. Say la vie. And then it had the whole Irish dancing thing, which I was really into back in the day too. I pretended to be able to river dance, but I can't at all. Back in the day, I did. I pretended like I could. Let me know when we're starting, yo.
Oh yeah, we going.
Oh hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
it's your girls, Triple F Queen Bola here.
No tagline wit.
And we are BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney.
Welcome back, you guys.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Be sorry coming in a little late in the month.
We are. We usually try to drop on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. Didn't quite work out this way, so we're sorry. But we still gonna get it to y'all before the end of May.
So don't be singing In Vogue. Never gonna get it. Y'all gonna get it. Okay? No. Oh man, it's been a time, right, Whitney? What you been up to?
I've been not much. Had like a nice little staycation with some friends.
That's always.
We had some hot tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have. I'm sure Shalika probably posted to her Instagram or something.
She did. Shout out to Shalika. She's very like thorough and
she was
thoughtful.
Committed to the theme.
She's very committed to her postings, and then she always posts like long stories. Like, she's always talking and telling us a story, really. I appreciate somebody who puts a lot of thought into their stories. So that's because I do. Somebody told me today they liked my mini vlog because I had the whole saga of how to put together this wooden fixture that I bought that broke. So I had like a whole saga about it. And I'm like, this is funny. Like, it's funny to me. So to have somebody appreciate that, I think is great. So, Shalika, if you don't hear this, just know I appreciate your stories at times. Like, they're like really great. She either has like long stories where she's just talking about herself or being real, or she has the funniest memes in the world.
Oh my God, yes.
I steal her memes all the time. I don't know where she gets them from, but I steal her memes. She had a bunch of them because we were also talking about what today. We are doing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness today, y'all. Woo!
All right.
So she has some awesome Doctor Strange memes. There was one that I took that was actually Moon Knight mixed with Wanda from Doctor Strange, and it was like she was crying about her children. And the funny thing was because you had in Moon Knight you had Steven and Mark, and so they were like, she's like, I'm my children. Then you see the next, like, the scene at the bottom was like a picture of them, a picture of her, and then at the bottom was like her playing with both of them. It's like, oh, these could be your two sons. It was hilarious. I could not stop laughing, and I was like, only Shalika gets these memes. Like, I don't know where she finds them. Anyway. But me, I've been like, just chilling, I must say, just in the recent, like, what's going on in the world and stuff, I do have to just say that, I don't want to keep saying thoughts and prayers, even though prayers work. I'm a firm believer in prayers, but I just wanted to say how, like, just upsetting and annoying, frustrating it is that we continually have this gun violence issue, and the children that died in Texas, it was just unnecessary. I just had to point it out, like, because it was really hard to deal with. Like, watching that after the black people had died for a racial issue in a mass shooting, it was like you didn't have enough time to really recuperate, because then this more egregious mass shooting happened, and then again, our leaders are like, well, there's nothing we can do. We can just offer only thoughts and prayers. But there's things they can do, and they just refuse to because of money. I don't know. It's upsetting. But we will just keep our country in prayer to hopefully we can come up with a solution to this. Because I don't know. What do you think, Whitney? I know I don't like really getting into politics and stuff. But this was just about the story of the people dying and the mass shootings. And it's just like, it's a lot. I mean, I teach Sunday school, and my Sunday school kids were talking about it. And I have to deal with that too. Like, how do I explain and talk to the kids about it? It's just, it's just sad, you know.
Yeah.
I hope this. I don't know. It feels like it's just gonna keep happening, though. What do you think, Whitney?
It's just really sad. I don't have like too many thoughts to offer on it. But there are some common sense things that can be done. I did see an article recently, or like a photo or something, that had like, you know, polling that showed that, you know,
most
Americans are in favor of like background checks, you know, different simple things that can be done.
They try and do, but they won't. I have my own issues, my own opinions, but I'm not going to do them here. But I don't know. But our hearts and my prayers do go out to the families, because to lose your child.
Oh my God.
Like, these are elementary school. These are little babies. Like, I can't imagine.
And granted, I haven't gone and looked into the story a whole lot. Like, what was the motivation?
The boy wanted to just shoot things up. He himself was a child. He was only 18, just got out of school. I don't know. They're like his grandparents. He even shot his grandmother right before he shot his grandmother right before he went and did this.
That's just crazy. Children, elementary school.
His grandfather doesn't have any idea of what. And I was like, how do you not know that your child? If you're the one taking care of them, how do you not know that this is going on with them? Like, they're having some issues. I don't know.
I can't say. Yeah. That's right. That. I think that you can't. People are often say, like, how could you not know? Like, you cannot know.
You cannot fathom what goes on inside the heart of a person. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. To me, I don't really know if these. I would call them more heart issues than mental health issues. Mm-hmm. Because to me, like, if you look at what happened with the shooter of the other thing, the Buffalo one, I mean, that dude planned that thing. You don't travel 3 hours just to go shoot up. Like, who does that? Yeah. He planned everything out. Like, you're not mentally unstable if you can plan this thing out. Something else is wrong in your heart. Like, there's just evil in your heart that's allowing you to do this kind of thing. So I don't know if mental health issues will be the only solution. It seems to be like that's all they want to focus on when it comes to this. And I'm like, I think we need to address both the guns and the mental health issues. So I don't know. I hope we can, because it just seems like we're going to keep having this issue. And I just pray for our nation, because it just seems like, nobody wants to go anywhere because it's like nowhere safe. You know what I mean, Whitney? And you don't want to be like, you got to keep living life. I don't believe in living in fear, but I mean, I don't blame people for homeschooling their kids. You know what I mean? Like, this has happened twice now where little babies died for no reason in school with nobody related to him. I mean, that kid didn't even go to that school, or no, his mom didn't work there. He just picked a random school and was like, I'm going to shoot this school up. It just makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Anyway, but let's get on to happier topics, y'all. I just had to comment on it because it's very time. I'm sorry, Whitney. I had to, because one of the things that's been on my mind lately a lot. No,
I understand.
Okay, so let's get into Blerd Out. Let's get into Blerd Out. Okay. So fun thing to learn out about. I also, both of us, we found out, watched Bridgerton. Oh my God, not Bridgerton. That's on my mind right now. We watched Downton Abbey. Yes. The newest Downton Abbey movie, the new era. And I think it's safe to say it's like the end of Downton Abbey. Like, they keep having comebacks. What do you think, Whitney?
If it's not the end, it really should be.
It really is a very good place to end.
Because, I don't think you can find a better place to end than this. And, spoiler alert, you can't have freaking Downton Abbey without Maggie Smith. Right. I feel like I would want to boycott it.
Yeah. It's like, I love the other characters, but who's going to deliver those sick burns? Yes. Those polite rudeness. Like, she was just, her scene, even in this movie, her lines about the filming that was happening in the house, it was just like, she was just throwing so much shade. And I was just like, yo, anybody catching these burns? Like, yo, she's giving people whiplash. Like, I was just laughing my butt off. She's like, I don't want to watch. Like, it was just, I wish I could remember how she phrased one of them, because they were hilarious. I just could, she's like, do I look like somebody that would turn down a villa? I just they're like, you didn't think to turn it down. It was like, I was just like, I'm with you, Maggie. You gave me a house. I'm not turning that thing down. It's a whole villa in the south of France.
What do I look like turning down a villa?
A whole villa in the south of France. Please. I would not turn that mess down either. Be like, you crazy. But the Downton Abbey movie was so like,
and I love their
nostalgic and wonderful.
Yeah, I feel like it would really suffer without her presence there, because like even like her relationship with Matthew's mom.
Oh my God, I love them.
I
together.
love their like complicated frenemies, but not exactly.
They've evolved into something beautiful now, like to the point where her role at the end of reading the letters from that marquis in France and everything, and I was like, of course she would be the one that she would trust, because they've been butting heads, but they ultimately want
respect
the same things, respect each other. And I love that whole. I love how the characters have transformed. Like Tom Branson, like he has transformed completely throughout the series. I like Barrow got a little something too, you know, because during that time.
You said who?
Barrow, he's the new
Oh
butler.
yeah, but I was like,
he used to be like the really annoying one. That
oh
was
my
always doing
God,
bad
I
stuff.
used to hate his.
I used to hate him too.
But it was nice
Stop being a biatch, you know?
I was so happy to see him get like his own little kind of happy ending, because like, you know, maybe it's just like, what do they say? Hurt people, and it's just like living as a gay man in that time must have been like really hard. But at the same time, he didn't need to be as much of a little biatch as he was at the beginning.
He was like, you're like, come on, dude. What's your problem? Like, he would just be anti, like, everything. Like, come on. For no reason.
It's just like, why?
Sour milk. And I was like so happy that he changed in the last season. After
I was so happy
he was trying to do that conversion therapy thing to his body.
Oh,
you know?
man.
It's just like, it was so, and I'm glad, because I was like, Tom, you don't need to stay here. You can go to America, be with our fine dude right here. He was fine,
but at the same time, I was like, how well you just gonna bugger off to America with this dude that you don't seem to have spent that much time with?
I know, but it looks like.
But I guess like in those times, it's like,
they sized each other
do you
up.
really you don't have as much opportunity as like a straight couple would have to like.
Yeah. And then you have to look, the movie was like showing passage of time. So in my mind, I imagine they spent weeks together because they were doing the filming of the movie. So I just imagine they spent weeks there.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like they probably didn't interact
as much
because it would have seemed odd to anybody. Like,
what are you doing talking to you're the downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh my God. My favorite thing about that was them flipping it and having the lower staff dress up, and then the regular people, I was like the upper class ones were just like there, and I'm like, yeah, y'all get behind, like get in the back. I was like, y'all been dressing up and we've been seeing y'all forever. I want to see Mr. Carson and Mrs. Patmore and Daisy dressed up. I
loved the thing with like Daisy like finagling.
Daisy's the best. Daisy's the best because she just tells it like it is. She's like, nah, I'm gonna come up in here, I'm gonna say it. She's like, I got her, because when she couldn't, like, I love the story of how like the silent films went to the talkies, because this happened a lot, because I took film history. I'm sure you did, right?
No, I didn't take film history.
So in film history, a lot of this happened because the women were beautiful and they were only miming and mouthing and stuff, but some of them had the lousiest voices. And so they were
like
not
singing in the rain. Can a girl get a word in edgewise?
Oh my God, yes, exactly. So they're like, her voice was so crap. And I was just like, no, she cannot voice. Like, no, her voice sounds awful.
Yeah,
so I love that storyline.
But she was great. Like, I loved how
it turned out.
How Lady Crawley was all like, oh, but look, she's got a great American. I was like, look at you
I
go.
like her. Yes, she turned out that, and then she can go to Hollywood now, so she can become rich and famous even more.
And I love that, almost like a redemption of this character who, like, you're like, oh, you're so awful,
rude, and like, she was rude and disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie in the beginning.
But it's another one of those cases where it's like, hurt people. She was like on the defensive. She was worried about her livelihood and career, so she like was awful to people because of it. Yeah. And it's just it's interesting. It's kind of almost a mirror of what's his name? no, I'm blanking on his name. The gay guy.
Oh, Barrow. Tom
Barrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a mirror of Barrow in a way, and a slightly different way, but just how like insecurity almost like caused them to like lash out and be like awful to other people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how she was too, and I even liked how like this. It took them because she came from the working class, so even though she was upstairs as a guest with the upper class, she didn't fit there. So and she knew who she was. So I like how in the end one like you said, the Lady Grantham, she ended up teaching her how to do the American accent because she sounded way better.
Yeah,
so she could go to the
She
Hollywood
sounded
pictures.
like actually good.
But I like how when they were doing the buffet and stuff, she was like, you know what, I'm gonna go downstairs. And I like how when they were done with everything, she talked to them. She went downstairs. She's like, no, these are my people. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah. And Daisy was like, you remember where you came from, okay? But go ahead and be rich and do all that thing. And it was really great. Like, yeah, I love that they were the ones that were able to like talk to her and like relate to her because they were the working class people, right? No one else could coax her. Nothing they said could coax her. And this is the star. I forgot we didn't mention it. This was one of the silent film stars that had come to the house because that was the whole thing that somebody wanted to use the house to film something, you know. And it was so. And I love Hugh Dancy in the film. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted him and Hugh Dancy. I really wanted Lady Mary and Hugh Dancy to get it on, but I was not a fan of cheating as well. So yeah, but I think the old Mary would have done it. Like old Mary, she would have done it. Like she would have been like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kiss you," but new Mary, grown up Mary, she's like, "No."
But I felt sad for her. Yeah, because it's like, where are you? Yeah.
Like, and that's how a lot of them had to deal with their husbands in the time. They're like, oh, okay, you know, and you kind of feel like that's kind of what happened to the Dowager Countess. You know, no, not Dowager Countess. What is her name? The grandma, Maggie Smith's character, Violet. You kind of feel like that's what happens. Like if she had her pick, she would have like gotten in, like she would have stayed with like one of those guys that she had been in love with in the past, whether it was the Karagan in Russia or the man or the Frenchman, because there was passion and love there, but because she was like thinking of the contractual nature of the British aristocracy at the time, she was like, no, I need to go and marry someone and make sure I secure my status, you know, all the kind of stuff. So it's like she knew she had to marry in a way that would fit her society. And I mean, she said she had a happy life with him, but at the same time, she was just like happy in that way where, you know, you don't really talk. It's not that deep. And I was just like, it was like a settling almost, you know? And I felt like marrying and the guy that she did marry, that they were good together. But like I said before, I was like, I felt like he was more in love with his racing than her. And I had a feeling that it could have taken over. You know, which it did because he wasn't, and that could be because Matthew Good didn't want to be in the film anymore. But at the same time, I was just like looking at the character. I was like, why are you not here with the family? All this stuff. The woman died. Grandma died. You not here. You just out there racing all over the world.
And it's like it's fine because it's like that's what he loves and that's what he was doing even before he got married. But it's like, there are some important things that you should be there for your spouse for.
And then she was like checking. He was supposed to have been home by then. And she was like, oh, I'm not coming home. He's like, I'm not coming home. I'm not coming home. Every time she was getting a telegram saying that he's not going to be there. I'm like, you dude, if you know you're supposed to be home, come home. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's kind of like how they had to deal with life back then. You know,
and I want to just mention because I watched the first movie right before I watched the newest one.
Oh, you lucky. I watched that years ago.
And it just I really enjoyed that one as well.
That one was good.
It was so good. I love the fact that, what's the younger sister's? What's Mary's younger sister's name? Edith and her husband, when she finds out that she's pregnant and stuff. And you're just like, and he's like, tells the king, and the king's like, oh, good, you can advise my son, and blah, 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 blah. And then Lady Graham is just like, you talk to the king, I talk to the queen. Because he just didn't get it. He was like, good on you, sir, congratulations. I'll see you out there on the tour still, even with your first child being born. Right? It's like, dude, really?
Really? He didn't get it. He just didn't get it. Anyway, and I love that they turned Edith's like little story around because, man, her stuff from the show was like crazy, but like I just like how everything ended up.
Turn the beat around. Love to hear percussion. Turn it upside down. Love to hear percussion.
Oh my God.
Love to hear it.
Love to hear it. That was a good one. But I just really enjoyed, like, those who love British period piece movies. Like, some people don't get it, but like Downton Abbey is one of the ones that people get. They're like, I get why you like this. The drama of it all, and it was just nice to see. There was no phones, there was no graphics. They was just like,
and it's interesting to me how much I like it, because like someone might say that this could almost. I feel like it's different than slice of life because maybe.
Oh no, this is definitely a drama. Like, it's
not
slice of life.
Drama.
I wouldn't call it that.
Yeah. Because like it's very different. There's things going on.
But
it's things in an everyday.
It's steady, yeah.
Of this, like, these different people in this household, and it's like got good storylines just about people
and funny liners. Carson's craziness about going to. Carson was doing the most. I was like, that man is incorrigible. Like, he just will not change. I was just like, of course you're gonna go back and be the butler. Like, I don't even know why you took off anyway. Oh my God, it's hilarious. I liked how they did them in Friends because the shorter woman whose daughter got married in this second one, Tom Branson's character. Mm-hmm. So that woman plays that girl's mother. Mm-hmm. You know the story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that is the guy that plays Mr. Carson. That's his wife in real life.
Oh, really?
So if anybody knows, she plays Professor Umbridge in the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, and she was also one of the fairies in Maleficent, I think.
Yep. So both of them are married in real life.
Interesting.
And their daughter is actually Penelope's sister in Bridgerton. The one that was like really vapid. Did you watch season 2 of Bridgerton?
Yes.
The one that was trying to marry her cousin, like the guy that came in to save their family once their father died. So the older one. Not the one that married in the Bridgerton series, but the one that was trying to marry her cousin.
Oh,
the older one. That's
okay.
their daughter. And so I just think it's hilarious. The whole family is.
Speaking of, can we just talk for 1 sec? I finally finished it.
Oh,
season 2
of
Bridgerton.
Oh, hey!
And I just want to say, like, the mother, the Featherington mother, she is
cutthroat.
She is cutthroat, but at the same time, I kind of respect her.
Yeah, because she's like, I'm going to check
she's
my
like,
daughter's
I like this dude, but as soon as he was like, oh, they can come later, she was like, oh, hell no, you ain't going to leave my girls behind.
She was a mother for real. She was a mother for real. And there's times where I feel like I don't really like her.
I don't.
Really
and
like
overall,
her.
I don't like her, but you have to have a certain amount of respect for her.
Because
she's
she
like,
wants to secure her children's bag.
I will survive.
She was trying to secure the bag and trying to secure their life. She's like, no. She's like, these girls are all I have. No.
And she is extremely
Cunning.
capable.
Yes.
Like, if she were a man, people would respect her. But because she's a woman, like,
yep.
I feel like people don't respect like how cunning and stuff she is. She's like, she's surviving out here, and it's like these are.
And she had the husband she had. The husband she had was terrible.
Yeah.
He ruined their finances, drove their stuff to the ground, and he didn't let her know because, of course, the women were not allowed to know. It was none of their business, you know. And I was like, it's very, very. I've been watching a lot of British period pieces lately. There's another show called Sandington where there's a strong woman. It's very good.
Leekwood was telling me about that when she recommended it. She also said that the Golden Age, the Gilded Age, I know,
I haven't watched that one yet. That one's on HBO. I haven't watched that one yet. I wanted to watch that one because a lot of people are talking about the black characters on there. And so I really am going to watch that next.
Have you heard about this new movie that comes out? I think it comes out in June, actually.
Yep. You saw the trailers, right?
What's it called? Mr.
Malcolm's List?
Yes.
That's my next one I'm going to watch.
That looks like it's going to be
Frida Pinto.
interesting.
I love her. So I'm like, yeah, I'm down for it. Okay, so we both mutually blurting out about Bridgerton, blurting out about all these. We're just blurting out about British period pieces.
Yes,
y'all.
we are. Yes, we are. I do want to blurt out about one more thing that I was telling Bola about earlier today before we started recording. But I started watching this anime, and it's been a while since I watched an anime, other than like maybe a year or so ago when I told Bola and you guys, I think, about watching a movie called A Silent Voice.
That's a good one. That's
excellent.
A movie, though.
It's a movie. It's excellent. But I started watching this one based off of I follow this guy on YouTube named Harris Heller. He's a streamer, And on one of his streams, he was talking about how his wife started watching a couple different animes, but one of them that he mentioned was called A Ranking of Kings. So I started watching that today. I'm about on episode 9. It's really good so far.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it made me remember. Now I'm like, I should find some other good ones to like watch, because it just reminded me of how good a good anime can be.
Yes. They can just tug at your heartstrings. Like,
they can.
I remember I was like reminiscing about the ones I used to love. Like I used to love Fruits Basket.
Oh yeah.
And Inuyasha. You got me into Inuyasha. But I was really into the story. Like I'm mad I didn't like see it all the way through because we just got caught up with school. But was Utena was really good.
Oh man, Revolutionary Girl Utena, loved that.
I loved Oran High School Host Club.
Yes.
And my favorite all time was, of course, Naruto Shippuden. It just takes the cake when it comes to storytelling. Like it's really, really, it's a shonen one, would mean it's more actiony, geared towards boys, but girls can watch shonen ones too, so I don't care about that. But it's so rich and good. A lot of people, my cousins love like these are like 20-something-year-olds, and they're watching like Boruto now, which is like Naruto's son anime now. They're like all over it. And I'm like, wow, y'all surpassed me, you know?
Yeah, because
the anime has such rich stories.
It does. Like if you find good ones,
man,
like it's just so amazing how well they do characters.
It's the storytelling.
And I feel like as far as good anime, because you know there is a lot of anime, so you can find some bad ones. But usually, if you're gonna watch one, it's probably because you've heard about it from someone else, which means it's probably gonna be good.
Yep.
And I also admire like anime villains. You very rarely find like a flat villain. Like their villains are so good, like so complicated, where it's like they're a villain, but it's like, dude, you see, you like it's
Naruto
a complicated
did that to
character
me all the time. Like the Akatsuki were like the bad guys, but there's this one called Pain, where if you really look at his story and they'll spell it out for you, you'd be like, man, I understand you though. Like I feel for you. That pain of what happened to you when you're a child. Like, you know, it was like you can feel it.
I love you.
Oh, I don't know this song.
I feel for you.
I'm telling you guys, Whitney has a talent, y'all. Like we should really like
Shaka Khan. That's who it is.
I don't know that song. I'm telling you, she has a unique talent.
I'm going to have to make a note to myself to play it for you after we're done recording, because it's a good one.
Any word you can come up with, she will find a song and she will sing it. Okay? It's a skill. Like, I thought I was good at this, but she is really good at this, y'all. Okay, my last blurt out is going to be about...
Tell me something good.
See, look at that. It's apropos as well. My last one's going to be about. This is also going to be a mutual. Mutual. This is going to be. I think I'm blurting out a little too much. Okay, this one's going to be a mutual one. With both of us. There's a movie on Netflix starring Rebel Wilson called Senior Year. Oh God, I love that.
I enjoyed it so much. Oh my God, the dance at the very end. I was like,
and the dancing in the one they did at the pep rally or whatever it was, the assembly. Oh my God! First of all, if y'all haven't watched it, go watch it, because this movie is actually really good.
It is.
The premise is hilarious and wonderful, and then if you grew up in the 2000s, you will have major nostalgia. If you were like a teenager in the 2000s, you will love the aughts, as they call it. You would love it.
I love when she's like out with the cheerleaders. She's like, "What are y'all doing? Like, we gotta." Doing like the little dreamscape music. Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
It was so great. So the premise is that there's a girl who's like living her life, and it's 1999. She wants to be prom kid. You know, she's just like all the 1999 movies you've seen. Like this is her. She wants to be like really popular. So she became popular. Exactly. She just was like, I'm going to do, everything was going to come together. She was dating one of the football jocks who was actually a jerk. And then of course it was her and one of the queen bees that were like really fighting and everything, but she was holding her own. That's what I liked. She was sassy, and I hate it when they back down for these bees. Let me stop. I hate when they back down for the mean queen bees. I'm like, no, you also snap back at them too. You don't have to take that. So I loved how sassy she was, because she rose to the occasion. She was like, oh no, you're not going to talk back to me. I'm going to talk it back too.
Oh my God. I love near the end where she's like, "Oh, I've got something for you too."
Yes,
she just like gives her the finger. She was like so good.
She gave her the middle finger twice. It was so funny.
And it's such a clever way. She's like, "Oh no, but I've got something for you."
Oh my gosh. But it was hilarious because it was like the problem, the whole premise was that this girl was trying to be popular, right? And then she was the captain of the cheerleading squad, and then she was going to have this big party and then lose her virginity, whatever. All the tropes of the 90s movies. But then when she was thrown up during one of their performances, she was dropped and went into a coma, and she didn't wake up till she was like 37.
20 years later.
She woke up like 20 years later in 2022. So she was like, nah. She was not like having it. She was like, no, I'm going back to senior. I want to finish my senior. It was hilarious. So I don't, in no other time would they allow this. Like, they're not going to allow you as an adult to just go back to school. Thank God for the suspension of reality of films.
Her friend, like the female friend,
yes,
she's like the principal, and she's just like, I don't think this is a good idea, but she just kind of let her.
Yeah, she just let her do it. So it was just a funny story, and then it was really nostalgic, and you see the mixing, you see also the way things change. Like, if you're looking back at the time period we were looking at, I was like, oh my God, I was getting nostalgic. All the songs, they had Drive Me Crazy in there. You drive me crazy. I just love how the kids of this time got with that.
Addicted to the love.
Oh my gosh, Candy with Mandy Moore. Yeah, all the songs.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Oh my God, that takes me back. They're
bubblegum
so
pop.
they're still so awesome. I love it.
Yes,
I
loved all the 90s pop that was in this thing. And I hadn't heard the C'est La Vie song at the end.
Oh my God.
Say you will, say you won't, say you do what I do, say you true, say to me, C'est La Vie. I was like, who's this band? Who's this band? Who's this band? Yeah, those Irish girls.
Bewitched, right? Or
yes,
something like
yes,
that.
That was it. Oh my God, I was like so happy because I hadn't heard that song in years. And I immediately went back to my like 12, 13-year-old self. Immediately. I transported myself to the memory of watching the music video and sitting in the room that I was in at that time and being like,
yeah, it was just so good. Like, it was funny. I was talking to Todd about something similar, but like, I think back to the movie actually that Drive Me Crazy. That movie was not great. I cannot remember anything about it. The only reason I saw it is because I loved the Britney Spears song.
Yes.
I saw it only because of that song.
The movie wasn't great, and then
but the song was great. Was great, and I saw this terrible movie because of this great song.
I know, and I remember. You know what's so funny? I had done a Jeopardy thing for my group, and I did the questions for the category for my work function. I did the questions called the 90s, and I did. I used that question in one of the 90s slots, and I'm telling you, nobody could remember the movie. Everyone was like, oops, I did it again. Or any one of Britney's other songs. I was like, no, remember, you drive me crazy. When I sang it, they remembered the song, but they couldn't remember the movie. It sucked. Oh my gosh. I still remember wanting to watch, I wanted to watch that. And because I liked the guy and it was really cute. And it was Melissa Joan Hart.
I do really like the guy. Well, actually, I like both of them. The actor and actress.
He ended up going on to Entourage, and I've never seen him after that.
Yeah, I never watched that. But yeah, I like both of the leads, but the movie was just not memorable at all.
I can't remember what happened.
Yeah, me either.
I just remember he was trying to get with her, I think.
Anyway, but that
Britney
just reminds me.
I love that song in that video.
Speaking of 90s type of songs, last night I finally watched Seeing Red.
Oh, I didn't watch that still.
You need to watch it, Bola.
You need
to watch it. You need to watch it. Oh my God. There's a scene at the end where the main character, May, she's facing off against her mother who's turned into this ginormous red panda. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to get her to change back to trap the panda spirit back in the locket or whatever. So her and her family are trying to get her back. So she's got to distract her mom. And she's like, egging her on. And she's like, I am not like you. I like boys. I like dancing. I like gyrating. And she starts doing all these dances. And it is hilarious. I was laughing out loud. It was so funny. She was doing almost like a little panda twerk. And I was oh my God, this is hilarious. This is
hilarious.
This is amazing.
Okay, we're definitely gonna have to watch. All right, man. So we've blurted out a lot about certain things. So you guys check out a
Ranking of Kings.
Where is that?
That's on. I'm watching it on Funimation, but it's also on Crunchyroll.
Okay, and then Senior Year is very funny, very good. You guys just watch it. It's hilarious. It's a good watch
on Netflix. You guys.
That's on Netflix, and then go to the theaters and watch the latest Downton Abbey movie.
Downton Abbey: A New Era.
Yeah, you'll also see the trailer for Mr. Malcolm's List that we're talking about. It's everywhere right now, and that's going to be coming out soon.
We'll put the link for the trailer for Mr. Malcolm's List in the short.
Yeah, we'll
notes.
do that.
That's a good one.
So watch Sandington. That's on a PBS Masterpiece. You can watch it on Amazon Prime if you get the Masterpiece subscription too. So yeah, just get all your British piece out. Like, this is the time. Spring. Think of garden parties.
Spring
all
has
that
sprung.
Stuff. Yeah. All right. So let's get into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm so glad you came along. You saw where I was going with that.
Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to Bola earlier about the fact that as I was watching the movie, I don't know how I didn't know that it was directed by Sam Raimi. I guess I hadn't been looking.
Yeah, this is like the first horror film of Marvel.
It really is. It's like the first
pissed,
Marvel
I don't watch horror
film.
Films.
Bola doesn't, and I was watching it with my friend Todd, and then I'm watching it in my head. I'm like, because I know Bola had already seen it, and in my head I was like, how did Bola get through this? Because this is like the first Marvel horror movie.
It is so horror.
It's peak Sam Raimi horror, at parts, and I'm like, what in my head? I'm like, what is happening here? I did not expect.
I got bested by my 7-year-old niece. She had her eyes wide open, didn't cry a single thing, didn't shut her eyes, didn't squeal or scream. And at the end of it, she was just like, "Oh, that's fine, Mom. That was fine, Auntie. I was fine, Mommy." I was like, what? This is my second time watching it, and I had to close my eyes because I could not take some of those parts.
Oh my God.
Demonic parts. I was just like, oh Lord Jesus, help me.
Kill scenes that happen. It's just those were the WTF moments where I was like, I could not believe how straight up gory stuff.
That didn't bother me as much.
This is Sam Raimi, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness.
He's
and that's why I was I loved it because of that. To be honest, I was it's so different. I'm not gonna lie,
this Doctor Strange is very good. You know what I wanted to say earlier? What I wanted to say earlier was that I like what they did with Doctor Strange. What they've done with Doctor Strange's character is very unique to me because he's been able to go across all these different films. You see him popping up in different places, and it's just his evolution of a character. He just became more awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he has. I feel like his character arc is very similar to Iron Man's.
Yeah, exactly. He's just becoming more awesome, and then I love
and
seeing
also
him in all
more
these things.
Empathetic, more feeling towards others.
And it's just I just noticed that, and I was like, I really like what they're doing with the Doctor Strange character. After watching this, I was like, even though he tore a hole or he did something, he made an incursion or something, I was still like that. I was like, okay, spoilers, please go watch. Okay, we're gonna be talking. Y'all know better. We don't have to say this again, right? Okay. But even though he caused the incursion, I was just like, but now you see at the end credit scene, he about to go try and fix that mess. You know what I mean? It's just they keep taking him through different places, and he's like, I don't know. It's some of the other characters, they stay in their film, they stay in their little lane, but he's able to go through all the places, and I just like seeing him pop up everywhere. I don't know. It's just
cool.
I feel like he's been in so many different films.
I really like the way they've done his character development.
Yeah, me too. His development is just amazing,
and they kind of emphasize it specifically in this film when you see the other Doctor Stranges and the ways that they've kind of gone wrong. Kind of almost in their selfishness and single-mindedness, I'm the only one who can fix things and things. And it's telling to his development as a person that he's the one who did not go that way. He's because the rest of them were willing to sacrifice this little girl.
Yeah.
And he's no. Everybody's telling him this is the only way. He's no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. He's you can do this. You've been doing it. Speaking of, her story was America Chavez. Chavez.
America Chavez.
Chavez. Loved her.
She was a cute little girl.
She was cute.
And she really was a teenager. So she was like the actress.
Well, yeah, she's a teenager.
She's only like 16 herself.
I liked her so much. I hope to see her in some more things coming up.
Yeah.
But like her story is so sad. Like losing her parents that young.
Yeah. And then she's just been traveling through the multiverse. Like who taught her how to live and grow if she didn't have her parents? Like it's so crazy.
It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. Instead of treated, we get tricked. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. It's a hard knock life.
Sorry, the harmonizing wasn't that great for me. I was trying to get there and then my voice was cracking. Anyway, but I don't know. I liked how this movie started in medias res. Like I really thought we were gonna have like a slow build up. I always use it because of you, just because of you. I thought we were gonna have like a slow build up, but this movie starts action packed, bam, like, boom, just in your face.
Yeah,
it was just like, oh no, we starting this. There's no like we in this. There's no like let us watch like I felt like after that whole scene of when you see her move from another universe Doctor Strange to the one we know, then it has like like Doctor Strange is at a wedding. You feel like that's where the movie should have started. But I love that it didn't start there. It started with him, with just that whole thing, the monster, everything. It was really a great like opening. Like, it brought you right into the drama. And
I really thought it was going to go a different way with what's his like former girlfriend's name? Rachel Kristen?
Yeah. Rachel McAdams?
Yeah. Yeah, Christine, like, I was so surprised that she was actually getting...
Christine or Kristen?
Christine.
Christine, okay.
Yeah, I just checked. But, like, I was so surprised that she actually got married to someone else. I was like, oh, snap. But then, like, when I was talking to Todd at the end of the movie... Years too. Yeah, he was. Was she?
That's what I thought. I guess not.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking, that she didn't leave she was one of the people that stayed. So I was assuming that since he was gone, she would, of course, have to move on with her life.
Right.
That she didn't wait for him. And I'm like, why should she?
Of course. But yeah, so I was surprised because I thought that she was, like, supposed to be his main love interest. But I was asking Todd because, like, the very end scene, like, the final scene or whatever, or I don't remember if it was the after credit scene, it's like, who is this person?
In the purple?
Yeah.
So the one in the purple her name is Clea, I think. Clea. And apparently she is one of Doctor Strange's love interests in the comics.
Yeah, so that's what Todd looked it up and told me.
They end up getting married.
Yeah, that's what he said.
After the movie I watched, because once I saw that scene, I was like, who is this chick?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, Charlize Theron is going to be in the MCU now.
Sweet.
Sweet. So I love when they get those new characters in there. But yeah, Christine had to do what she had to do. And like she said, it was something in him that, actually, Whitney, tell me what you thought about this thing she said, because I wasn't sure what she meant by it. She's like, you always have to be the one holding the knife and cutting it or something. Remember that line where she was explaining why things didn't work out for him, that she couldn't love him? She liked him, like she respected him for it, but she couldn't love him for it. I don't know.
I don't remember the line you're talking about.
She said that he always had to be the one holding the knife. And she said she couldn't love him for it, but she respected him. And I was like, at first I was like, so what are you trying to say? And I think I didn't get it to to watch it the second time.
It was the same actor.
What?
I didn't know that. Sorry, I was just looking up the actors and actresses. And Black Bolt is the same one from the horrible TV series. It's the same actor. Okay. I didn't think... Well, he did have a big thing on his head this time, which he didn't have in the TV series.
Oh, well, it was a different world, too, so you have to know they changed the costumes up.
They did, but I couldn't see his face well enough, because if I could have seen his face better, I probably would have been able to be like, oh, they use the same actor.
Oh, okay. But I didn't understand... At first, I didn't understand what she was trying to say when she was saying that. I was like... Christine, what are you saying about him that you think you always have to be the one holding the knife? And
maybe now I can't remember the specific line you're talking about, but based on what you're saying, maybe she's talking about like what this like the Doctor Strange we know what happened at the end of the film, where they're like the only way is for you to take her power, so that would have meant he had to be the one with the knife, but he's like no. this is not the only way. You can defeat her. So he didn't have to be the one, like, that kind of, like, I don't know, martyr syndrome or whatever, where I'm the only one who can
I think
save everyone.
That's what it is. I think that's what that last part you just said, I think that's what's hitting home to me now.
Yeah,
because he was like, he has to do everything and then he has to go it alone. That's the impression I got.
And that's the problem that was, like, with his other selves, because, like, the one, like, that caused the incursion and stuff, they're like, you thought that only you could, like, do this, so you amassed all this power, you thought that you could handle it, and you caused all these problems. Yep. And if he had done this, like these Strange that died in their world, that he was, like, gonna actually take America's powers, America Chavez, he was about to do the same thing. He was going to take it, like, you don't know how to control it, so I'm just going to take it from you, and I'm going to do it myself. And this Strange, the Strange that we know, was the only one who didn't go that route.
Yeah, he found a more creepier route to go through, but he saved the day. So,
well, he had her save the day. He's like, you can do this. Like, you have the power.
You know what? Actually, you're right. He stepped back.
He did.
She showed Wanda.
She's the one who actually defeated.
She showed Wanda how to. Let's talk about Wanda.
She showed Wanda what she needed in order for Wanda to defeat herself.
We don't talk about Wanda. We don't talk about Wanda. Let's talk about Wanda, actually. Wanda is one of my favorite characters.
Yes, me too. And especially since, like, WandaVision. And then I'm not gonna lie,
they just turned her to a straight up villain in this, and I was not ready for that.
Straight up.
It's like a whole 180. I was so not prepared for the villainy that erupted out of her.
I was not either. Especially, she was cold as ice. Like, she was taking...
She was knocking
powerful
out,
characters out left and right with, like, a ease and, like, super gory. I'm like... That's why I said this was, like, the first Marvel horror film, because, like, the way she was killing...
she took out those Illuminati in the other world.
I was just, like, in my head... I didn't say it, of course, like, shout out in the theater, but in my head, I'm like, what is going on?
Yes. I was like, what the F? Like, they really just let her, like, go postal on them. Like, the way she got Captain Marvel. Okay, this is the Illuminati. There was one part where, you guys got to watch the film. I'm not going to explain all the plot points, but she's in another world. She inhabited her body, the Wanda, in another world. And then there's an Illuminati that has Dr. Reed
from the
Fantastic Four, and
Mr.
it has Peggy Carter playing Captain Britain, and it had Captain Carter. I thought it was Captain Britain.
Captain Carter, I believe. I think Captain Britain is actually another character in the Marvel comics.
Did they call her Captain Carter? I thought they called her Captain Britain in the Illuminati.
I think in What If she's Captain Carter, and I think she's also Captain Carter in this movie.
Okay, well, I thought she was Captain Britain, but because there is a okay, you know what? Maybe there is, because there is a Captain Britain in the comics, I think. Anyway, that's not important. And then you've got all those wonderful people.
Professor X,
Monica Rambeau playing Captain Marvel.
Maria, I think.
Maria.
Yeah, I think her daughter's Monica.
Yeah, Monica's her daughter. Maria was playing that, and just all these wonderful people.
I know. And I was so excited. All the people in the Illuminati. Well, no, not all of them. To be honest, I was most excited about Maria Rambeau, Captain Marvel. She was pretty cool, but the person I was the most excited about was I did love Professor X. I do love that.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I love that theme. I did love, like, I did a squee when I saw him roll out. I was like, like a literal squee.
It's like the nerddoms are just like,
I know, right?
You know?
Right?
That's one about, like, we just love it. We're like, yes.
It was like nerdgasm.
Yes.
It was so much fan service in that movie.
Yes.
But, like, my absolute favorite was Captain Carter. Like, yes, after seeing What If, I was like, when I saw Captain Carter, I was like, oh my God!
Me too. I loved it.
She was such a badass too.
Because I love Peggy Carter and I love Haley Atwell.
I
oh my gosh.
I really hoped. I was hoping that she would survive, because I would love to see a series.
She got her own movie.
Yes, or series. I would love to see that.
Because I watched Peggy Carter series, because that's how much I like Peggy Carter.
I loved it too. I loved that too.
I was mad they cut that short. I was like,
I was so upset too, and that's why I was so excited when we saw Peggy Carter back in, like, the Avengers, but especially in, like, What If is an excellent series. You guys should watch
honestly,
it.
If you watch What If, you recognize some parts of this Doctor Strange. I just thought it was so cool how they incorporated the zombie Strange. It's just interesting. Like,
I just really,
things
I would
weren't exactly
really
the
love to
same.
see The Watcher. Because, in Spider-Man, I actually thought it was him when you see, like, the multiverse is opening up and you see, like, this dark part in the clouds. At first, I thought it was, like, his silhouette.
It could be that they're going to bring him up in one of the new ones. Like, I heard...
Quantumania or something?
Yes, I heard Quantumania. Because I'm also, like, I assumed that Dr. Kang from the Loki series... his name is not Dr. Kang. Just Kang.
The Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. I assumed he was going to be in the Multiverse of Madness, but he wasn't. And so I assumed that...
I wonder where he is going to pop up.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, when is he going to pop up? Because I hope it's not in the second Loki series. That better be better than the next one. Unpopular opinion, I did not like the Loki series that much.
It's like, I didn't dislike it, but it's at the bottom.
I would not watch Loki series again, like ever.
I don't feel a need to rewatch it either.
I would
like,
rewatch
I
all
didn't
the other
dislike
ones.
it, but it's at the very bottom of all the series that they have put out for me.
I would rewatch all the other ones. Here's my ranking now: WandaVision, Moon Knight, Hawkeye. What If? After Hawkeye, what's the next one? The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Loki. That's my ranking.
I think yours is pretty much almost exactly the same as mine, except for I would have to tie Hawkeye and Moon Knight because it's hard for me to pick between those two as my number two.
I really like Moon Knight. I
did
something
really
about
like
the
Moon
way
Knight,
they touched
but something about Hawkeye I love
Hawkeye
so much.
I love
which is
Hawkeye.
why it's hard for me to say which of those. For me, if I had to pick, I probably would actually put Hawkeye ahead of Moon Knight.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it's
Moon Knight's very fresh in my mind. I actually want to watch it again.
It is very fresh. So, but I might tie them. But if I had to pick, I think I would actually move Hawkeye a little bit ahead.
I think whatever new thing they come out with, like I'm waiting for the little girl Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
She might be before Loki. That's just, and I haven't seen it yet. That's just that's what I'm saying. Like
I know.
I did not appreciate the Loki series. It just was, and he's the only one confirmed to get in a second season. None of the other series are getting a second season. I mean, I can understand why, but I was just like, y'all could do another Hawkeye though. Like, I was like, you could do another Moon Knight though. Like, I would love another Moon Knight.
I would love it. I'm curious as to where he's going to pop up though.
Yeah, so I don't know where Kang is going to pop up, but I assumed he was going to be in this Multiverse of Madness.
Maybe Quantumania.
I think so. So I can't wait for the Ant-Man. He's definitely not going to pop up in Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I don't feel like he's going to.
That's going to be
maybe Quantumania.
I think that's going to be more of a Thor and the Guardian of the Galaxy stuff as opposed to following up with this story. But anyways, Doctor Strange, with Wanda. So I was very kind of upset to see the quick... what's the word? Not disillusioned. Deterioration of Wanda's like self. She just like went in. She let the Darkhold take over so much, and then her desire for the children.
I don't know if I would even let it. I feel like that's what they said that it just does to anybody who tries to use it. It's like, this is kind of what happens when you...
I mean, she threw my dude Wong over the... I was so pissed. I really thought Wong died.
I was like,
part.
no, not Wong!
He was going to be Sorcerer Supreme.
He was Sorcerer Supreme.
No, I mean, because I thought he died. She threw him over the cliff because you saw the thing didn't catch. So I was like, Wong, you died. I was like, just killed one. That was too much.
She was like she went like whole hog. She was just like taking people bitches out left and right.
Murking folks.
Yes, straight up murking folks.
Get out my face.
Yes, and that was it's funny. I mean, not funny, haha, but like when they're like, "Oh, this is her being reasonable."
Yeah, I was like, her sending the monsters was reasonable. To fetch the girl, I was like, these things are scary. Like, that eye thing, oh my God, that was a wonderful sequence. I love the opening fight, was that eye thing, that monster, that whole thing in New York City was really, I just enjoy the way they do Doctor Strange fights, because it's like a suspension of reality, and it's like, he can just do all these weird, cool things and just pop out of nowhere. And the funny thing is, I'm not, no lie, I felt like I loved the way he like leapt over the balcony. when they were leaving the wedding. But you could just see that Christine was just like, there you go. It was almost like everyone was so like it's her day, or it's her wedding day, but everyone was like so fascinated with Doctor Strange saving them from other monsters.
But
and aliens.
he was very stylish with his like.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And
like,
I don't know.
And he
what
just
it
looked
is.
good doing it. It's like
Benedict Cumberbatch just gotten hotter over the years. He's kind of like an interesting looking person.
yeah.
But he's just
Some
gotten
movies
hotter
you
over
see
the
him in,
years,
and you're like, he doesn't look quite in this movie. But then other times you're like, oh.
He kind of looks like Praying Mantis to me sometimes, like something about his face. But I'm just like that now. Like I'm just like, oh my God, he's very attractive, and he's like broad and big. But I was just like, I loved him in Doctor Strange. Like he was just so handsome to me. I was just like, you can get it. You don't need Christine. Get yourself a Bola, okay? Come here and then take me somewhere with a little sling ring, okay? You can sling something else around too.
Oh wow, wow. Not safe for children.
But I just like I love Doctor Strange. Like I really do, because I feel like he's very conscientious,
and he's a interesting character in the fact that he's got kind of like a Tony Stark kind of selfishness that's developed, and he's just gotten more, because like actually it was almost the same for him. He almost had like a similar relationship as Tony had to like Spider-Man. He's like all gruff and stuff, but he's like, no, but I'm gonna help this kid.
And that's what and I feel like him and America really had like a really good connection. Just like him and Peter, like he has this softness that he has. I feel like his troubles and the way he started off has like worn him out for over the years, and that he's really like opened up his heart to like really trying to help others and be there, and like. And yeah, like you knew, like honestly, some people blame him for like what really happened in the Spider-Man No Way Home thing. They're like, you didn't really have to listen to this kid and do all this stuff, but she was really trying to help the kid, And so, but I was like, even me while he was doing, I was like, Strange, just cast the one spell. You don't even need to be doing all this stuff.
Just stop it, and be like, dude, make up your mind.
Yeah, and then he came back and still tried to help at the end of it all, So it's like he was really trying to do what was good. I feel like that's the thing. He is trying to do what is good. Like that guy asked him at the wedding, he's like, was this really the last thing, the only? I'm like, yeah, you want to survive? Like, all of us could have been dead. We could have all been snapped out. But it was like the only way to get everybody back. You know what I mean? So a tragedy did unfold for some, because like after the 5 years, some people had just naturally gone, the ones that stayed, But I know like
that was like,
did what he could.
That was one thing that I love. I mean, it's interesting to say loved about WandaVision, but it was just... It really made you connect with Monica's character coming back and finding out that her mother is gone. Yep. Like that is just oh my God! Can you imagine that heartbreak?
I'll be so mad. Yep.
Yeah, but it's just like it's like stuff like that could happen to these people.
Yeah, finally, like even in Yelena finding out in the Hawkeye series how she had like
her sister sacrificed herself,
and that she had been gone for 5 years. It was, and I love how they did that scene in Hawkeye.
Oh yeah,
where she just like appeared back in the same, and the bathroom was just different.
You know what? Like, what? You make a good point. They did an excellent job with both characters who were gone and came back, with both Monica and with Yelena. Yep. Like those scenes were like perfect.
Very well done. Yes. Very well done. But going back to Wanda, let's talk about Wanda. So Wanda just went postal as usual.
She went to so much trauma.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. And
it's not an excuse for what she did. It's not excusable at all. But like, dude, she hit a breaking point.
She did like make the right decision, but that's because America Chavez had to show her real self. She wanted these children, but she was a monster. She kept saying she wasn't, but she had become a monster.
She really had.
That the kids didn't even want to be near her. And once she saw that, she knew that the person she is in this world, the Scarlet Witch, cannot be a mother at all. Look how much... I was like, you were willing to kill half the world just to get these two kids. And I'm like, and they're not yours. You're going to kill their mom, too.
They have a mother. You can't just, like, take their mother. Like,
so, and
you didn't think this through.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, maybe you just didn't care. She didn't care.
Yeah, you're right. She didn't care.
She was
it was
single-minded.
all about what she wanted. Yeah, and Scarlet Witch wanted her own children. That was gonna make her happy, and I felt like that was a hole Wanda was trying to fill.
And I don't want to make excuses for her because it was not okay stuff that she did, but it's like she hit a breaking point, and like they said that the Darkhold corrupts you. So I feel like if it weren't for the Darkhold, this wouldn't have happened like that.
Maybe. Because she didn't know her power. She didn't know at the end of one. You're right. She didn't know.
I mean, she could still have found power, but I feel like because she found power through the Darkhold, and the Darkhold corrupts.
But she was supposed to become that. That was the thing. It was weird. She was supposed to become the Scarlet Witch. That's what I was thinking. That like.
But was the Darkhold the only way she became? Was it because she had the Darkhold that she became the Scarlet Witch, or is it because of her own powers that were going to develop? But she used the Darkhold to try to find her family.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I feel like
I don't know the answer
she's
to that.
supposed to be the Scarlet Witch, but I don't know if that was based on the Darkhold though.
You're
feel like the Darkhold is kind of like not directly tied to the Scarlet Witch.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
I think it's just that she used it to try to get her family back, and that led to the
But because of the
poisoning.
Mount Megorium, I think it was called. I don't know if I said that right. Mount Wendigore. Well, Wendigore. I said Mount Megorium. That's Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. That's not the whole different. I think it's Wendigore. You saw that the Darkhold, where the Darkhold got its like. Where the books, the spells and stuff were on this place, and then she was there. It was like a throne for her. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I feel like they were supposed to be connected in some way. Because her other Wandas were not Scarlet Witches. You know what I mean? The other Wanda wasn't. So,
but maybe the other Wandas weren't. But the Darkhold also wasn't.
The Darkhold was in the other worlds, remember?
But I feel
like the Sinister Strange had the Darkhold in that world.
But I feel like the Darkhold in like the world of her original world may have been almost like the original one.
Who knows?
So maybe that had something to do with why she was became this version.
Let me ask you this, Whitney. Are you getting tired of the multiverse? Because it seems like it's being used for a lot of...
It is everywhere. It really is everywhere. Like everywhere. And it's like, it's so... we saw everything everywhere all at once. And there was something else. I loved that. I loved it so much. There was also something else that had a multiverse. Yeah, oh my God, I love that. That's still for me. No Way Home was a great Spider-Man movie. It's probably the top live-action one. But I think for me, Into the Spider-Verse is probably still the best Spider-Man movie.
Wow. Even better than the Tobey and the
Yes.
Wow, and Andrew one? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I really think that.
I enjoyed it very much.
It's just so good.
It is.
For me, good. I think even after No Way Home, because No Way Home, like I said, I think has become my top live-action Spider-Man movie, but I think if you're just looking at all of them, I still think Into the Spider-Verse is the best of all of the Spider-Man movies. I'm looking forward. I think this year is when the second one's supposed to come out. The Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited for that. But going back to what we were saying about Wanda, I just was at the end of this movie. I just thought, why can't she be happy? Like, why can't she have some happiness? Like, Wanda has been rocked from the beginning of the series, from the beginning of her life. Like, her parents were killed because of some war and all this nonsense. She was experimented on, and her powers came. Then she went, Ultron, and she lost her brother. And then she fell in love with Vision. Vision was a stable. Then Thanos came and took Vision, and she had to re-witness that. And then she made her little world, and she lost her mind. And then that had to be taken away. And I was just like, man, the girl just can't catch a break. Even in this one, I felt like as bad as she was in this one, as much as she deserved that sting, but at the same time, I looked at her at the end of that series where the other Wanda touched her face and she was just crying. I was like, why can't they give her some happiness? Like,
it's interesting because you're right. Like, the stuff that she did was inexcusable. I'm not making excuses with the Darkhold thing, but I feel like she did get corrupted by the Darkhold. But at the same time, like, even with as villainous as she became, there was still some amount of sympathy that you had for her, because you're like, this is a person who was
do.
just broken over and over again, and she snapped.
And that's hard to do after she snapped so badly. Like, she snapped a lot. Like, if you watch this film, if somebody be like, I hate Wanda now, I can understand that. Because she was crazy in this one.
She was crazy. She was murking.
She was sending monsters after this. Just a little girl, just to take her power.
The monsters weren't as bad as she was. She was like straight up brutal.
I know, but I'm like, sending the monsters after the
She was like Mortal Kombat original video game, ripping out the spine of the finishing. She was finishing brutal.
I know. It was so bad. She just was like, she went on another level, and she was in another Wanda's body doing that mess too. I was like, if the other Wanda woke up, you saw how she was just shoeless with all that glass that was flying everywhere. I was like, if I woke up and the Wanda, I'm like, what happened to my feet? Like, she was just brutal.
I was
she
so
didn't care.
upset when she did that to Professor X. Like, he was trying to get the original Wanda out. She came out like,
his neck. Oh man,
God, it was like so brutal.
It was bad.
So brutal.
I
mean, it was good because it was so different than any other movie thus far.
Yeah,
I liked how different it was, but I'm like, dude.
I just did not know she was going to become the villain. Okay, question before we move on to something else, because I want to go to the Illuminati next. Mm-hmm. Do you think Wanda is dead? Because nobody, honestly, look at it. Nobody could defeat. Wanda could be the most strongest, person in the whole MCU right now, because nobody could beat her. Doctor Strange even admitted it, but she destroyed herself, I think. But because there's no body, some people are like, oh, she's alive still. What do you think?
That's a hard question, because right? I was thinking the same thing. Like, is she really gone? Because this, I feel like if she's gone, she's going to be brought back some type of way, because this characterization, her character is too good to not have her come back at some point. But I feel like she did what she set out to do. She wanted to destroy herself. Well, she wanted to destroy, I think, the Darkhold.
I think she wanted to destroy the Darkhold.
That meant she would have to destroy herself. Oh, man, that's a hard question, actually, thinking about it. Because I'm looking, too, and I'm like, is she dead?
I don't know.
But you know what? Even if she is, you know how many people, everybody in the freaking Marvel Universe has died 5 times. So, even if she is, she'll be back.
Okay.
I feel like.
I want to go to the fan service just because I was so happy. I know we already talked about this, but we didn't really get on to the Reed Richards. John Krasinski as Reed
sorry.
Richards.
I was about to start singing the Xmas song like you did.
Oh, sorry. I went to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
John Krasinski showing up as Reed Richards, knowing that he's a fan favorite. There's literal videos out that look so real that I have clicked on, being allured by the idea of it, thinking that, oh my God, him and his wife are going to be the new, Dr. Mr. Fantastic and, his wife. And I was like, oh my God, this was a fan video. But it works. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he did it. As much as I love Peggy Carter, I was excited to see her. But when I saw John Krasinski in there, I was like, yeah! I was so happy. I was super happy.
He was really good as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
He had a kind of gravitas to him that really worked.
And compassion that Mr. Fantastic has.
Yeah, it's kind of, I feel a little bit sad that he was multiverse Mr. Fantastic, because I'm like, he would have been a great Mr. Fantastic. I mean, he was a great Mr. Fantastic.
I'm thinking maybe I'm not gonna lie, it would be nice if they put him in our world too. But the MCU is kind of multiple worlds existing together.
They could still put him in our world, because there were strangers who looked the same, the
and
one who died,
and
the ponytail one who died, and then the one who was all cray cray in the incursion world. They look the same, so you could have Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
I don't even know which world Eternals is happening on. So the Eternals, I was like, is this our world or another one? I don't know.
Huh, that's a good question.
Because I was like,
actually.
where are the Eternals going to pop up again? What's his name? Harry Styles' character that's going to show
Eros,
up.
right?
Eros, yeah. Where is he going to pop up?
Well, based on the fact that they said that he was Thanos' brother, I feel like they're in our...
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, didn't they talk about events dealing with the other characters at some point? I feel like they're an
It's hard to
hour
know.
in the original timeline world.
Yeah, it's hard to know, honestly, because there's so much multiverse stuff happening. So the horror of the film, I'm not even gonna get into the horror elements because we already talked about it because it was a lot, guys, for me to be like, I had to like just
It's
pray
peak
after
Sam Raimi, you guys. It
was
is peak
creepy.
Evil Dead 2,
But
Army
I
of Darkness,
must
Sam
say,
Raimi.
It was super creative. It
Really
super
was.
creative. That's why I couldn't knock it all the way because I was like, yo, this is like a fire idea. Like,
Yeah.
it was the most craziest idea too.
It made it
like,
so unique. It's so different from any other Marvel film, and it
Yeah.
makes it, the uniqueness of it like makes it like even better than
and I'm
it would
glad
be
that
just on its
Rachel
own.
McAdams had a more role playing a different her, and that she went along for the ride.
Oh yeah, I did like that. I forgot
thought it was
about
going to
that.
be Wanda, actually. When I saw the trailers where they were like jumping into that place where the Book of Ashanti was, I always thought that was Wanda behind it because I did not think they were going to make her a villain.
I didn't think so either.
But they just they surprised me, man. Marvel's surprising me. The storytelling is amazing. I'm in awe.
I love how they're like taking, well, I don't know if you would say exactly call it taking chances, because Sam Raimi did do Spider-Man, but he did but you know, that was not Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man, but
that was Sony, right?
I feel like this was taking a chance for them to let with this kind of gory horror way that they went, and it worked so well.
It does. It's just not something I want to see all the time, but it worked really well. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought he used those spirits to make wings to fly. But when I first watched this, because I've watched it twice, I was like, no, those are wings. And then someone was like, no, he used it to make a cloak because Doctor Strange has a cloak. And I was like, no, they're wings. And so we kept, me and this person were going back and forth. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, after watching it a second time, I'm like, okay, I think it was a cloak. I think he used the spirits to make a flying cloak. That was so crazy. My favorite fight scene, though, was the one with the music notes. Like
that was pretty cool.
Because someone who plays an instrument, I always loved music notes. I remember I had like a music note wristband and all this.
It was very Fantasia.
Yes, and the music matched it. It was amazing fight scene, and that's what I like with Doctor Strange. They can get creative with how they can do the fights.
Yeah, they can get creative. Period, like just in how they could do more without it seeming weird.
Yep.
In Doctor Strange movies,
and it works.
Yes,
it just works.
And it works. It works so well.
So with Doctor Strange, she had the most interesting idea to how to put this thing together. I don't know how he did it, but he did. So I had to give him props for solving it and taking the back seat and letting the girl like deal with this and realize her powers. Like you can punch a star into stuff. Like, girl, you got some power. Like, do some stuff. I was like, yeah. Instead of running away all the time. I know she's a kid, so she's afraid and she's been alone her whole life. But I was like, no, America, you fight now. You're big enough. You need to fight now. And I like that she was like, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. And then she showed her, and then it was like the best thing. So Wanda ended up undoing her, stopping herself. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's what I liked seeing about what they did with her. Like, she got more courage. She understood more. And I like that she's like learning how to be, you know, she's learning at the Carmitage and stuff. I liked where they left her. So I'll be happy to see what they do with all the new young people that we see. Like, I want to know what they're going to do with America. I want to know what they're going to do with Kate Bishop. I want to know what they want to do with Yelena.
I know.
All the new youngins. I really want to know.
I'm excited for this.
I'm excited for this. I hope they make like a whole young series where they just get all of them together. Because I really like Kate Bishop and Yelena's relationship.
I know. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I thought it would be so cool.
That's part of the reason why I love Hawkeye so much.
Because it's like Hawkeye and Scarlet again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, well, not Scarlet, Black Widow. It's like both of them again. You know, and I just can't wait to see what they do. The ending, I don't know what Doctor Strange has a third eye, so y'all, we're gonna have to see. What are your predictions? Let's end on some predictions.
I can't even like begin to predict like what's gonna go on here.
They blew my mind with this one. I
was
really
shocked
at where it was going. I was like, this is not what I expected at all.
It was not like I could not predict like
the storyline. Nothing that happened.
Like other than the fact of seeing some of like the what if type
stuff.
characters, like seeing Captain Carter, which was still for me a squee moment, and Professor Xavier.
I really didn't think she was gonna be. I didn't think any of those people.
I really want to see Captain Carter in something else like this. Like I thought it was so cool.
I want to see her again.
So cool. And I realized that it's not actually What If Captain Carter.
It might be. It's just a different one.
Yeah, because like me and Todd were talking about it. What if Captain Carter didn't have like a jetpack?
I know. Where did she get that from?
I don't know. I guess in her world,
maybe because they're so technologically advanced. You know, the Ultrons are actually wandering around doing their bidding. You know, so we'll see. And then we didn't get to Chiwetel Ejiofor's character. That's
right. He was still alive. Well, the other him.
I was like, I loved how they brought them back, and they had that little like petty fight.
Yeah,
that mess was so funny. He totally like screwed them over again, because I was like, there's no mention of what he did after the first Doctor Strange. We just know they just kind of casually mentioned, he kind of hates my guts and all this kind of. But I was like, I don't know what he did. I don't know where he went. There was like this second credit scene where we just saw him like attack somebody, and I was like, I thought he was going to be the next villain. Really,
I actually thought so too. I thought we would see more of him. They brought him
back in a totally different way.
They did.
He was a totally different him, in another universe. So I was just like, so we're not going to get him. Okay.
Maybe we'll see him more. Like maybe he'll team up with Kang or something.
His name is what is his name? Mordor.
Baron Mordor is
Mordor.
What they have.
So I knew something like that.
Yeah.
So what do we want to?
Mordo.
Is there any other thing? I'm just glad Wong was okay. I'm glad.
I know. I love Wong so much.
I love Wong.
And I love at the end that Steven finally bows down to the Sorcerer Supreme.
And I like that he fixed his watch and that he like decided to like.
I
felt like he got some resolution with Christine, and I was so sad for both of them that they couldn't be together. But I still think.
But I feel like there wasn't a need to be. I mean, I was sad because I thought that they were going to be together, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't think you needed to be sad because it's no longer sad. It's not
her in every universe.
It's not so sad for her because she let him go. Like she loves him, but she's not in love with him, I guess, anymore.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like him and that Christine would have worked. Like him and the Christine in his world don't work, but I feel like that Christine and him could work. That's what I felt bad about because he was like, it was almost as if like they were the two that should be together. Like it was weird. I don't know. All the multiverse travel got to me, but I really was like, oh, I just felt for him. But now we have Clea, so we can't wait. And I love that her purple is her outfit because I love purple. I cannot wait to see because he just jumped. Like he literally just like I'm out here. I'm going.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's become bad because of this third eye that opened up at the end.
I feel like he could have been on his way there by using the dark hole, but I think since Wanda destroyed it, it didn't have enough time to corrupt him other than having that weird third eye. But I think like as far as his like inner self.
Okay.
I think she destroyed it before it could really corrupt them the way it did her.
Okay, I think so. Okay. Well, the only thing to do is to vote. Not vote, rate it. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to give Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 9 glasses. I took off one because of the horror elements. I had to knock it down for that because I did not need to see any of that. Although I think it belongs in the film. I think it works. I just don't like it personally. And like I said, not because I was like, oh, it shouldn't belong there. I just don't like watching horror-y type things like that. But I felt like for the film it works and it was very unique way to do something. And I'm not going to lie, it's very ingenious. Disturbing to me, but ingenious. So I give it a 9 glasses.
And for the same reason as you, but in the opposite direction, I give it 10 glasses because the horror stuff works so well. And it was so unique.
Like, where are you going with this?
And it made it cool. It made it so different than anything else they've done that I loved how different it was. It was like unexpected, but in a great way. So for that reason, like, overall, it was a good movie, but I think how unique and different it was because of those aspects, like, bumped it up for me. So I'm giving it 10 glasses.
All right. So you see, we have it. That's
so overall, 9 glasses and a monocle.
Oh, yeah.
Average.
Average, yep. There you go. I'm glad you did that in your head because it would not have turned out. I would have said a contact lens and a laser and a LASIK surgery. Like, let me stop. Going a little too far with the eye exam thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so guys, we are done for the day. We're gonna let you guys go and blurt out some more, but please go watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's everywhere. You don't want to miss it. It's a very unique film. Very well done. Honestly, if I didn't like horror, if I liked horror, I would give it a 10 too, because I've watched it like twice and I'm probably going to watch it again. And I'm okay with it this time. Well, I don't know. I might still cover my eyes. Because I watched it the first time and I was just shocked out of my mind. And the second time I was like, I had to cover my eyes. Because I just didn't want to see those things like up close. I was like, Anyway, but go and watch it. It was really, really good.
It really is really good.
Really good storytelling. Marvel is just at their peak right now. Like, I don't know if anybody can ever just top them. I don't care for what the haters say. Watch some superhero movies, okay? If it's good, watch it, all right?
That's right.
All right, so you guys, this is our last episode for the month. But next month is our birthday month. It's Gemini season. Hey. So we don't know what's in store for us yet, but you guys will find out when we find out, okay?
Okay.
We might have some new stuff for you guys. Some interesting stuff, right, Whitney?
That's right.
Well, yep. Just stay tuned, okay?
Stay tuned.
And blurt out always. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other blurred and non-blurred family and friends. And if you like our episode, please rate and review us on iTunes.
The intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption, spelled C-A-P-S-H-U-N. The show notes are by Bola, Hanson, and the audio engineering is by Whitney Booker.
And you can contact us by email at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And also, don't forget to get social, you guys. You can find us on our social media at Instagram and Twitter, with our @handle being @blerdtalkbw. And we've got our individual things going on too, y'all. So you can find me, your blurred fashionista, on Instagram and Twitter at BolaStoryB. That's B with 2 E's like the insect. And I've got my own personal YouTube channel, just Bola Sade. That's BOLASHADE. D as in dog, E as in elephant.
And this is Whitney. You can find me at my company, Luminavi Studios. The email address is wit@luminavi.com. That's WHIT@LUMENAVI.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Luminavi Studios.